You're just bought into another dimension. A dimension not only of bad beats and busted draws, but of decisions so bizarre they defy logic. You've crossed into a land where min raises spell doom, and a four-way all-in with queen high makes perfect sense. You've stepped out of reality and into the absurd, the unpredictable, the unexplainable. You've just pulled up a seat to the low-stakes zone.
What's going on, everybody? Heading on down to Franklin, Kentucky on a Monday, April 21st. Going to be playing a little 1-3, I think, tonight. 2-5 might be on the menu, I'm not sure. The Barrel has recently instituted a change into their 1-3 games, so now it's only a $300 max buy-in. They're trying to create a separation of the classes so that a 2-5 game will go a little more often when they had the $500 max. The 1-3 game pretty much played like a 2-5. People standardly opened $15, $20 pre-flop, and it just played deep. It kind of scared off some of the smaller people that are only coming in for $200-$300, don't have several thousand in their pocket. So I can understand the motivations. This is a 6-week trial by them, and then they're going to evaluate and see what's good for the poker ecosystem here in Southern Kentucky. As a player, I just kind of have to play the games that are offered and see what I can do. But it looks like the 1-3 is going to be the game that's going tonight. There are 6 people on the list already. So we're just going to have to get in there and play a little bit shorter stack poker. My main goal for the game right now is I'm trying to find places where I can fold. People just don't bluff in these games nearly as much as they should. And I have not been playing my best game the last couple of months. I went on a big downswing a while ago. I've kind of pulled myself out of it and strung together several winning sessions, but just not booking the super sessions that I am used to. And I think a part of it is I am just pressing a little too hard, trying to be aggressive from out of position with marginal hands, playing offsuit Broadway type crap, and also making a lot of crying calls, trying to bluff catch people when they're just not bluffing. So trying to get back to basics of betting my premium hands and letting them call, and when they turn around and start betting, just listen to them when they tell me they have a good hand. That's as simple as that. When they're not lying, they're playing their hand, they're not making a move against me. It's nothing that deep in their mind. They're just betting their hand. So I need to listen to them when they tell me they have me beat. Simple as that. But we're going to be the Barrel in a few minutes, so hopefully we can get into a game pretty quick and maybe book a super session and book a win. I think the $1,000 wins are going to be a little fewer and further between with the $300 max, just because there's not as much money to win off of people. But we will grind out as best we can, and we will see you in there.
As I walk up to the table, I'm presented the option of buying the button. Normally I would pass on this and just take the free hands behind, but I noticed there was a promo egg in the pot for this hour, so I decided to throw in the $4 and see what happens. I am rewarded with a 6-deuce offsuit, so that's worth paying $4 for. Middle position, low jack, cutoff, and button all limp in for $3, and we go to a flop 5-handed. Queen, queen, deuce, rainbow, so I have 2 pair. I'm really not too excited about the hand at this point. It doesn't seem like anybody else is either, as it checks around. The turn card is a queen of spades, putting 3 of a kind on board, and maybe my full house might be good here. I decide to lead out for $15 and only get called by the cutoff. The river card's the 8 of hearts, and I really don't think there's much value in putting anything else in the pot. If my opponent just has high cards, he's probably not going to pay off anything, and I'm definitely going to get raised by a queen, an 8, probably a pocket pair. I decide to check, and he checks behind pretty quickly. I show him my raggedy full house, and I win a $27 pot, crack open the egg, and find another quarter, so I'm off to a really good start.
Get down with all this!
Get all the way down!
Get all the way down!
Oh yeah!
About 45 uneventful minutes pass before I look down at the 9-8 of clubs in the hijack. Got a couple of early position limpers before I bump it up to $20. Really trying to get a heads up with a hand like this, but in position, playing multi-ways isn't the worst thing in the world. Big blind and under the gun both call the 20, and we go see a flop 3 ways. 10-9-8 with 2 spades is about the worst 2-pair flop I could have possibly asked for. This is a very wet and dynamic board, so I want to make all the potential draws pay a lot of money to chase, which I know they're likely to do. I bet out for over 75% of the pot, firing $45 into the middle, and only the big blind calls. It goes from bad to worse on the turn as the jack of club rolls off. The big blind jams for $82 on this turn card. The pot is laying me almost 3-1, but this is just never a bluff. My 9-8 is never good, and in hindsight, these are the types of folds I need to be finding. In the moment though, I sigh and call and flick in the chip. The river's the 9 of spades bailing me out as he shows a queen 7 of clubs for a turn straight.
Gotcha, bitch!
I did not play it well, but I was rewarded anyways. Going forward though, these are the types of folds I definitely need to be finding. The guy in the 6th seat that I cracked with my full house seems like he's been trying to get involved in lots of pots with me, or maybe he just likes to get involved in pots and it's not about me. Regardless, he doesn't seem like he's in much of a mood to fold. In this hand, there's 3 limpers in front of me before I look down at pocket queens
Hello, ladies!
and the hijack and raise it up to $20. Cut off, under the gun, and middle position all call the raise, and we're going to a flop 4 ways. 8-6-4 rainbow seems fairly safe. The early position players check to me before I continue for $50. Cut off and under the gun both call, so we've lost 1 player, but we're still going to a flop 3 ways. Deuce of clubs on the turn seems like a fairly safe card, but people like to chase down gut shots, so who knows what somebody's in here with. There could even be a random 2 pair. Under the gun checks, and at this point both of my opponents are short stacked enough that there's really only 1 play left. The cutoff folds pretty quickly, but my nemesis in under the gun calls off for his $169 remaining stack after thinking about it for quite a while. River's the 4 of spades, and I feel like that might be a safe card for me. I show my queens, and he mucks his hand. He later said he had 8-7, so he had top pair and a gut shot, and I take his stack, and this time he goes out the door instead of back to the cage.
Boring!
An hour and a half into the session, and I'm already up $550. I'm starting to have ambition that I might be able to pull down a 4-figure win tonight, which is surprising considering the max buy-in has been reduced to $300. In this hand, there's a couple of early position limpers, which is standard, before I look down at a couple of black aces and bump it up to $18. Button calls, big blind calls, both the limpers fold, and we're going to a flop 3 ways. Flop comes down King Jack 4 rainbow, so I feel like there might be a few draws out there, but I'm probably ahead right now. I continue for a 2/3 size bet by firing $40 into the middle. Neither one of my opponents are dissuaded from continuing as they both call the 40 and we see it turn card 3 ways. Jack of hearts on the turn. Not the best card in the world, but for the most part I'm probably still ahead. I'd be much more concerned if the king paired up. Big blind checks and I continue for $75. I'm really trying to play for stacks at this point. Button thinks for quite a while before finally throwing his cards in the muck, and then the big blind snap jams for his last 108. I guess I ran into the jack, but it's only another 33 to call and it's a very sizable pot. I don't think I can ever fold here for this small amount of a re-raise. If it was a couple hundred back to me, I think I could easily get away from the hand at this point. I flip in the call. He shows the jack 3 of diamonds.
Oh, nuts.
Queen of clubs rolls out on the river, which is no help for me, and I am no longer undefeated. At least he didn't have more money. Top of the hour, and we're playing another egg bonus hand. Under the gun raises for 10 and +1 calls before I look down at pocket 9s in the low jack and bump it up to $45 on a 3-bet. Hijack gives it a call as well as under the gun, limper folds, and we go to a flop 3 ways. 7-6-5 rainbow. So another very connected and dynamic board, but this time I do have an overpair. Under the gun checks and I fire out $100. I really want to take it down right here. I can't imagine many cards that are really very helpful for me except for possibly an offsuit deuce. Even turning a set would be bad news for me at this point. Thankfully everybody finds folds and I take down the pot, winning $114 plus another $25 egg.
Out here for the mid-session update, I have 2 hands that I feel I could have played a little differently, maybe. The first one was the very first hand of the 2 pair with the 9-8, when the guy just moved all in. And I called off knowing I was beat, and then I got lucky and sucked out against him. Those are the types of folds I definitely need to be finding, and I don't know, I just snap called, and I got lucky, I got bailed out. And yeah, that kind of sucked. I mean, it was good that I won, but it sucked that I played horribly. One advantage that did come out of that is the guy kind of tilted after that, and I took the rest of his stack about, 45 minutes later with pocket queens. So, I don't know, that worked out well. The other hand was when the guy turned trip jacks with the jack 3 of diamonds. He moved in, like I continued on the turn for $75. He only had like $105 total, so Yeah, it was $30 and I knew he had trips probably, but you just can't fold for that kind of money. I mean, there was a lot in the pot already, a couple $100, and I just couldn't fold right there. So, yeah, he had jacks. He got there with Jack 3 of diamonds, called a pre-flop raise with Jack 3 of diamonds, and he got there, so good for him. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually a couple of deer running around out here. So that's kind of cool. But anyways, that's the mid-session update. Right now I'm up about $700 or so. Scooped a nice bomb pot. I've picked up 3 promo eggs. Only had one hand really go against me, and that was the aces that got cracked. So hopefully we can continue to run it up and walk out of here with a super session, even though it's only a $300 max buy-in.
We come back from the mid-session update, and a few hands later we pick up Ace-8 offsuit in the cutoff. There's an early position limper in front of us before we raise it up to $15. This is definitely at the bottom of my range and might be a touch ambitious, but I feel like I've got position and a good table image, and things have been going my way today except for those aces, so we're going to mix it up a little bit. Both the blinds and the low jack call, so we're going to take a flop 4 ways. Flop comes down Queen 8-7 with a couple of diamonds, so second pair and a backdoor flush draw and an overcard, all things considered not the worst things in the world. Small blind fires right out for $25. Big blind folds before the low jack thinks about all of his options as well as probably several other things. He finally puts in a very cautious $25 call. I like the price I'm getting to see another card, so I flip in a quarter as well, and we're going to a turn. 4 of diamonds on the turn gives me a lot more outs. Both the small blind and the low jack check now, and I feel like this is a good spot for me to try to take it down right here. I fire out $70, and the small blind springs a trap on me and slams in his full $127 stack. Low jack gets out of the way, and I'm getting way too good of a price and have way too many outs to fold. I flip in the call, deuce of clubs on the turn, and I miss everything, and he shows the king queen of spades. I'm not sure I agree with his line of check raising with top pair on a very dynamic board like this. I happen to be holding just about the only kind of hand that he is beating that's still going to give him action. Anything else that let out for $70 here is probably got his top pair king kicker crushed. But you can't argue with the results. This is going to be the last hand I go over for this half of the session. Stay tuned for the exciting conclusion next week, and let's see if I can actually win $1,000 for the first time since I was in Texas.